We are here live now. All right, so welcome everyone to Layer 5's weekly websites meeting, and this is a meeting that is held weekly on Monday at 8 a.m. Central Time, or 6:30 p.m. IST. So we cover all the issues and PR related to websites and UI UX design, and also like content writing and other things. So like if you have any agenda items or there is anything you want to discuss about, make sure you mention those with your name in the meeting minutes. I'll request Saurabh or Abhijit to share the meeting minutes in chat. Also make sure you write your name here in the attendees. I see like we have 15 participants in the meeting, so please do write your name. And before we start, there's this housekeeping item, and that is we'll be following our Layer 5 tradition, and that is if you are joining us for the first time, so you get to introduce yourself. So who we have today, who is joining us for the first time? So I see Victor Lu. So Victor, is it the first time that you are joining us?
No, it's not first time.
Oh yeah. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, actually, I'm just joined here to understand what this overall the project is about. So just trying to learn.
Really great, and welcome to the call, Victor. And yep, I see Vihas. Vihas also is like for the first time. Is with us for the first time, I guess. So Vihas, like, would you mind going next?
Yeah, so hey guys, I'm Bihas Makwana, and yeah, I just got an invitation from the Layer 5 regarding this call. So I'm just getting acquainted with the project itself, and yeah, just learning the process, what we do here, and that's it.
Thank you for joining us. And yep, we'll be covering many items on various websites, so you'll get an idea, how you also can participate in these meetings from next time. So thanks for joining. And next we have Ashpars Pandey with us. So would you mind going next?
Hey, thank you so much for joining me. And um, I have resolved that card size inconsistency, and I have tested on various devices like Pixel, uh, iPhone, Samsung, and Xiaomi. I tested on 4 devices.
Really great. So like we'll be covering your item too. Like have you mentioned your item in the agenda here in the meeting minutes?
Uh,
There is this meeting minutes. The link will be in chat, so you can go there and write yourself. If not, so definitely okay. Yeah. So I see you already have written there. So yeah,
yeah,
you'll be covering that. Thank you, Spurs. And
yeah,
then
thank you so much.
we have Divvela with us too. So Divvela, like, would you mind giving your intro?
Hey, it's not my first time. I'm Harsha, right? Yeah, it's my surname.
Like this is not the first time you are joining us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, still, if you would want to, say quickly about a few words, like regarding your interest, or so you get to, take the stage.
Yeah, I have already joined Ledfy a month ago, and I have raised up many 4 or 5 pull requests already.
It's really great, and yep, thank you for joining today too. And so hopefully, like, I haven't left anyone. If I missed anyone, so you can signal now, or you can introduce yourself to the chat in the chat too. So let's wait for 5 more seconds. Like if there are any more newcomers, so unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the community. All right, so I guess we don't have any more newcomers. So then we'll be starting with the agenda items. And first we have layer5.io. So after we cover all these items, we'll be moving to mystery.io and then docs.layer5.io and so on and so forth. So in layer5.io, the first item is from Harsa. And
yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. In the last week meeting, Chit gave me some suggestions about making this page responsive for all the sizes. Earlier, it was having some horizontal scrolling and all, starting from 951 pixels to 1200. So I have committed those changes already, and there is no horizontal scrolling now till
Also,
1200 pixels.
also there were some comments like in certain screen size, all the the right side navigation would be was going into the bottom of the screen. So like, did you fix
Yeah,
that?
I have fixed. No, it is not.
So I see Ashok is not with us. So I'll ask for feedback.
Yeah.
So any feedback for her, sir?
Yeah. Okay, so Harsha, what issue what you were solving? Like, if you can. Sorry, I didn't hear. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Earlier, this page is having horizontal scrolling issue. Here, let me show once again. So this page is having like horizontal scrolling issue over here, at starting from 951 pixels. So I have fixed this now, like this.
Yeah. Okay. Like, if you see on the left side of the page, like we have more spacing padding to the left of the table of the contents column, and on the right side of the page, like so, like
Yeah,
the inconsistency in the padding. So if you can fix that as well, then we are good to go.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other feedback?
Or if you can scroll, decrease the size or change the viewport so that, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It looks good.
Yeah. If anyone else feedback, then yeah.
So I'll take that as a no. So thank you, Harsa, for the update. And next up, we have item from Jay. So Jay would like to present.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second. Okay, so this was the peer that I was working on earlier, and there were a few issues with it. To resolve, I would need Ritik's help a little bit. So one of the issue was um, it looks fine in the dark mode currently. So yesterday I got these reviews. So but the colors, I don't think that these would be. I mean, I feel like these are too dark for the light mode, and we can have a different, uh, maybe a different background for the light mode, and also a little bit of issue with the image here looking a bit blurred. So if the image is still available with you, Ritik, can you please like how do you convert it to WebP if you can tell it to me? Like just do we is it something like this or do
No,
you do it by
actually, the image that we are using, it's actually this page was created for the post. Like we just use the screenshot of the playground currently. So like we have a mockup inside our Figma file like that shows this whole layout of the playground. So we can just use that. I'll provide it to you so that that the image don't pixelate. So yeah. And
Okay.
for the design that we see inside the canvas, like for that, like we have to do something because it's always be present inside as a image. So we don't have the SVG for that. Either we have to create SVG for that using all the components SVG, or yeah, I provide you with something like that will work and that will not pixelate. So yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, like for the whiteboard with machine, like it's a complete SVG, or is this a text or a paragraph text or something you are using?
Oh no, these are like actually to make this responsive. What I tried to do was the background is a SVG, the whiteboard with Meshri, this thing is a SVG. So you can see this is an SVG, this is an SVG, and the background, like there are three SVGs used because using only one of them, I think I tried doing that, but that didn't, I was
Yeah.
not able to make it very responsive. So I did this.
Mhm.
Like it looks fairly good. It is responsive in most of the cases. I mean, in mobile form, it is, yeah, it is responsive. iPhone 14 Pro Max, iPad Air, it is fairly responsive. Yeah, it is responsive here too. There
Like
was one more issue. Yeah.
yeah, for the text that you are using, like whiteboard with Meshri, instead of using the SVG, like we can just use the paragraph text or something, or heading text to show the whiteboard with Meshri text inside instead of using the SVG. That's what I'm suggesting. It's
If you do that, then I
Mhm.
feel like this arrow would give us some issue. Like it always has to start from like whiteboard to Meshri, and making that responsive would be difficult task.
Yeah, or maybe we can just remove that arrow for now, like because if we are using the SVG, then in the mobile view, the text that text gets very small, and the spacing between the text and the yeah, if you see.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. I mean, the arrow does look good. Maybe we can insert a breakpoint to make this a little bit bigger, the SVG.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, I have a question. Earlier you mentioned that you were having you were concerned about how the image looks in light mode. Is there no option to actually within the system itself to maybe navigate towards a preference area and switch them to a light mode version?
Are you talking about the toggle, that dark mode to light mode?
Yeah, is there no toggle that will allow you to change your preferences from dark to light mode?
Yeah, it is there
Similarly,
in Napa.
image?
I mean, I would need to add that background, right? I still don't have that.
No, I'm just trying to figure out you're having issues or to actually locate, or if the specific preference doesn't exist. I'm not suggesting that you should integrate it if it doesn't exist, then that's not part of the text that is assigned. I'm just wondering when you first said you're liking how it mode, and I know you changed from dark mode, but I'm wondering if when you're designing, if there's no option in it to change the preference from
I'm sorry, but your voice is breaking way too much.
okay. Let me know what you got from what I said, so I know
Can
what to repeat.
just type it out in the chat? That would be helpful.
Yeah, I got what she said. She was just saying, well, one she was clarifying that she wasn't necessarily saying she was more or less to question like, hey, is there the functionality or an existing framework within the site that would potentially help with respect to switching those modes, lightening up the image or darkening the image based on the fact that you can use the light mode, dark mode switcher, and it turns out that that framework is not integrated with the images, or is not doesn't work quite like that. Although there is a little bit there, that is a good thing to remember, to the extent that you end up breaking down the image a little bit, and you end up literally providing text as text, not as an image. Then that text, to Sandra's point, it would be hooking into the light mode, dark mode framework on the site. And so, yeah, it's a good note. It's a good it's a good thing to be cognizant of, be aware of, if that were to have an effect. I think that's what Sandra said.
Okay.
Yeah, and so good. So yeah, to the extent that you guys break out the text, that does have, you do have to pay attention. You do have to hook in. And so a couple of other thoughts. This is great, Jay. Hey, this is like this is front and center, right on the home page. So it's kind of a big deal. So to the extent that people it is appropriate for everyone to be really particular about it, very specific about, it's text, it's a picture, the arrow is there. It's not like it's quite appropriate because it's quite front, important. Hey, I would suggest, or I would sort of jokingly, with all seriousness behind it, suggest that you guys are wimping out if you can't handle the arrow. And so hopefully that comes off as encouragement, sarcastic encouragement, perhaps. I think you could do it. I think you could make it happen. It's been done before. To Jay's point, or to Ritik's point, it's one of those it's sort of a pain in the rump with respect to responsiveness, because if you got independent text, you got an image right next to it, and you're looking for the two to be placed and positioned, with respect to each other, and maintain that, but then also be responsive. It's a little bit of, there's going to be some CSS happening, but it makes sense that what you guys are describing is, despite the fact that the original graphic was designed as an entire square, that, gosh, just the more that's included in that graphic, the larger the image size is. The larger the image size is, the longer it takes to load the page. The longer it takes to load the page, the lower our website gets ranked on Google. And so, it would make a lot of sense that you're not, that you are trying to break it into, that you're trying to eliminate the entire rectangle, rather have that as a CSS like background image with linear gradient or radial gradient or what have you. And that'll save us a lot of, that'll save all the visitors download bandwidth. To Ritik's point, Jay's kind of in a slight mess with what he's been provided, where he's got what are more or less two what could be independent images. They were certainly taken independently. Jay, if you zoom in just a smidge, if you don't mind, just so everyone's on the same page, that there's this large screenshot, and then there's this smaller off to the right-hand side, like, what do you call those? Like an insert or a zoom or something, but it's just another image that's overlaid. Well, the issue with, so those are screenshots. So like, depending upon what's being screenshotted, in this case, it's mesh map. So one of the better suited formats would be PNG, or potentially WebP. But to Ritik's point, is like, well, yeah, it's just not necessarily ideal. Like, the way that we could slim it down the most. And by the way, for all of you that are listening and thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a couple of kilobytes or whatever. Like, it ends up being a big deal because because it involves SEO. And the larger it is, that Google will rank us lower. And we've certainly seen some of that. So what Ritik was saying is, well, while this is a screenshot of software that you all have created, guess what? There's a mock-up of this software, And those mockups are all SVGs. And so if someone were to take the time to kind of rearrange the mockups that we have, the artifacts, the graphical artifacts that we have in our mockups and our wireframes from Figma into this arrangement, which many of them are pretty close to this, well, then you could have no rasterized anything. It would all be vector. And as a matter of fact, you could have as many of those independent as you want, which Jay, since I know you, this is like the only thing you want to work on for a while, is it's actually not the only thing I want you to work on, Jay. Some other items. And it actually isn't. I know you just landed a PR in the docs. But gosh, imagine this might be a challenge for some other folks on the call who are still having to listen to Lee talk about this, which is that if this all becomes an SVG or a couple of SVGs, well, then it can be as many as we want, which means each of these elements can be individually animated. Oh yeah. A little bit of interactiveness as people kind of scroll. Now, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to do like, you know, like when you're in high school and you discover that PowerPoint has animations for the first time, and then you go way overboard on the animations. No, it can just be subtle, like as kind of like a parallax or like a, yeah, anyway, it can be subtle.
Wait, if sorry, Jay, I thought this was created outside of MeshMap, but now that it's created MeshMap, I think there is a preference option to get the light mode version of the design. So just in case you weren't aware of that, you have the option to do that.
Yeah, that's a great, yeah, I chuckle. You're right. That's right. That's a super fast answer or fix. If it stays in rasterized and PNG, then what Sandra just said is you're there, you know. If the time is taken to break it down into vector-based graphics, still what Sandra said is still true. Ritik could point out to anyone on the call where the wireframes are that are the mockups that are in dark mode and the mockups that are in light mode. So yeah, it's a very well placed point.
Thank you, Sandra, Lee, and Jay.
Yeah, I have one more like feedback. So yeah, if we look at in the desktop view currently, the engaging and collaborating with that title, like it's very close with the if you scroll down a little, yeah, here had to you scroll too much. If you go to the design that you created, yeah, here below, like engaging and collaborating with, like if you can increase the spacing between this one and the above graphic so that it doesn't look like it's both are the same section, like they are different.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right, so next item is from Ankush. So do we have Ankush on call?
Yes. Can you please open up the preview for that? Now it's not taking that much time.
It was in handbook section, right?
Yes. Please, you can click on right hand side, enter navigation links. Last time, you after clicking it's taking 2 seconds to jump to that, but now it's fine.
So what I was saying that, yeah, looks good to me. Anyone else? I'll be sharing the link in chat.
Oh, wow. Oh, pretty cool. So the right hand side menu floats with you, comes along for the ride. Oh, that's
Yes.
pretty good. We just talked about that, right? So you picked up that challenge, and here you are delivering it. So, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, like I've shared the link in chat if in case anyone else would want to have a look. And yeah, next item is from you only. And
You can like
so this
try
is
to your-
regarding yeah, so this is regarding adding the screenshots, and I have left a comment, right? So
I will change like that the folders. Like I will change that, but you can like click on the like open up this and see the screenshots, right? They are like preview
Yeah.
for that.
yeah, but what's the I mean, issue is like after some time it will be overwritten, the screenshots that you have
No,
uploaded. So
I'm just saying like I will change that according to like you suggested in the comments, but I'm just telling you like to see the like screenshots and all, like if they are fine or not.
looks good. Let me share this in chat.
Or yeah, if you scroll back up one, or on the screenshots, if you go back to one of the other ones. Okay. Alrighty. Perhaps a little blurry, maybe.
Yeah,
You
so
might.
Zoom it like they are clear, I think.
What's the next one? Oh man, that just points out a flaw in the visualizer. It's pretty hideous. Yeah, it looks like that blurry, you know, if there is any blurriness on this one, it's not your fault. These two, I don't know, it feels like a cheat, because it's just the same thing in light and dark mode. And so as a user, like you should probably just choose one or the other and just go with dark mode. Something that's happening in the carousel, there's an unfortunate piece of business happening over there. Can anybody tell what's going on, what that is? There are a couple of ways that you can put images on a diet. We just talked about one of them, which was rasterized images versus vectorized, PNGs versus SVG and WebP. That's one way of putting an image onto a diet, making it smaller. Well, what's another way? Oh man, I cracked myself up. It's not maintaining aspect ratio. Look how tall and skinny those guys are. They've been dieting. They're all tall and skinny in the carousel there. You see it now? They're like me on camera. I just look super thin. My cheeks don't look chubby. Anyway, so this isn't the issue of on Kush directly, but just on the site itself, the carousel that we're using, that framework, it looks like it's looking for a particular sized image. So, yeah. And so separately, it'd be great if we took a note and somebody was able to take that on, like to help ensure that the aspect ratio of images over there don't get impacted. One other thing to also note is like this screenshot here. If you go to the next, if you scroll, please, or go to the next image. And okay, so the last screenshot that we were on with the white background, it has an unwanted artifact at the bottom. Whoever's driving.
Yep, this is me, Vivek.
All right. Yeah, Vivek, on the white background screenshot, it has a horizontal black line at the bottom. Probably don't need. Yeah, it's still present here. On Kush, you got some re-snapshotting to do, my friend.
Yes, I will change that.
You also don't need to snapshot the. Oh, okay, yeah, you know. Okay, good. Yeah, so it'd be good while you're snapshotting to look to see if what those preferences of this carousel system, this carousel component is. Do you think that that's something that you can, like as a separate pull request, something that you might want to tackle? The aspect ratio issue in the switcher, or is that above your pay grade? Is that too much of a challenge? I don't know. Could be. Could be.
Who's gonna say no to challenge live recorded?
Yeah. Or just put you in front of everybody, pressure the hell out of you. Just anyway, think about it. If it strikes your fancy, maybe let's get an issue open and let people think about it. But I'll be paying attention. I just want you to know that I'll just be watching for your name on the issue. And you can't crack today. We're just not going to make you bust out and laugh. Okay, all right. It's
Okay, so
Yeah, also Ankush, when you take the screenshot, like whenever you are taking, like just put the mesh web into the full screen mode, then take the screenshot. So
Okay.
yeah.
so hopefully you'll be getting this issue for the aspect ratios. Was that a yes from you, Ankush, or like we should be assigning this to someone else?
Like, I'll look into it, but I'm not sure. Like,
Oh yes, and in case you would want to give it another course, so there is a comment from Saurabh, and that is you can rewatch this live session. So that will really be helpful. All right, so that was all from Ankush, and now next up we have Victoria. So do we have Victoria with us? Yep, we do. So
Yeah, I'm present. Hello.
would you like to present? Yeah, would you like to present this?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen now. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. This is the design for the longevity legend badge that I came up with. So the badge is to be awarded to contributors to award them for their long-term contributions to a project. I use what's this called?
Apple.
What?
Apple green. Or hourglass. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. Hourglass. It represents the badge. Dolly left a comment suggestion to change the color of the sign.
Not.
We can't hear. We can't hear her at the moment.
But so yeah, like Victoria is asking for feedback on these new badges, the design she has created. So
yeah, so near as I can tell, she's got two versions. The left-hand side has a Keppel green, a darker green, internal to the hourglass, or maybe over the whole thing. And the right-hand side has Caribbean green, or the light green. And Victoria's back. So Victoria, we just lost you for a moment. Is that right? The left-hand side has a darker green and the right-hand side has the lighter green? Oh, maybe she's... I thought she was...
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
The left-hand side is darker and the right-hand side is lighter.
Let me throw you a curveball if I could, or food for thought. If you, on the left-hand side, if you were to retain the same greens broadly, except for in the sand of the hourglass, just the internal, just internal to this hourglass, not even the outline of this hourglass, but just the sand itself. If that were to go Caribbean green, I wonder if how that would look. Often we try to use the two greens in contrast or in complement. We try to use them adjacent to one another to offset each other just a little bit, so it's not all monotonous. And so it's something to try out, see if that. But in general, like, does that everybody here hopefully understands that if you're busy in the community, or if you're busy working on the or even using the projects, that there are any number of different badges that might represent milestones that you achieve, whether you're contributing or using. And this new one here, we don't have this one yet. So Victoria's got this longevity legend. And Victoria, what did you say that the badge was about? Like,
it's awarded to contributors to celebrate, or to, like, it's awarded to contributors for their long-term contributions to a project.
Oh, nice. There's a couple of people on the call who I think, like Victoria, actually, that perhaps are in this badge. So, could anybody else have thoughts on this? So there's the time. Did you have other ideas outside of the hourglass? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, I thought of using the clock face, but I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense too. I can see why you went with the hourglass, just because a little more stylistic, a little more less intricate.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
So you said I can use the green on the hourglass. I can use the darker green for the hourglass, but the sand should be the lighter green.
Yeah, if you give it a shot, you might find that one feels the best, or you might, that it has that you're able to bring in both of the tones of green, and just have an accent. It's kind of hard to pick out for a lot of folks, maybe, but yeah, that might be the wrong suggestion, but you don't know.
Yeah, I'll try it out.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, I have shared the Figma link in chat.
All right.
All right, and next item is from Vlad about much spacing between. So Vlad, would you like to present this?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Vlad, we can hear. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Vlad, yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to ask if you can hear me or see me, because I don't have $2 to pay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually pushed the repository, the PR as we.
It will be helpful if you share your screen. With
all
your
right. All right. So I am discovering something now, that the PR would not go through last time, because my node version was higher. Yeah, it needed something less than version 18.
Let Vlad know that. Okay, yeah, now we can.
Okay, can you see? Yeah, but somehow now, so I have to downgrade my node version, but now I cannot make the site anymore because my node version is lower than what Gatsby needs to run on my system. So I am in the process of updating my node version again. so that I can show you in my local development. But I have pushed it. Sorry, I need to show you.
So maybe we can circle back to you, Vlad, like when you're ready.
All right, yes, when I'm ready. Because I'm in the process of
Thank you.
updating my node again. So I have to do it back and
Yeah,
forth.
makes sense. Yeah, happens with all of us. Thank you, Vlad.
Yeah.
So I'll share my
Yeah.
screen. Okay, so next item we have from Varsha. So is Varsha with us on call? She's not. So we'll skip. And then we have this item from Trinaya. So do we have Trinaya? Looks like no. Okay, so then the next item on layer5.io is from Raj. So again, we don't have Raj with us. So Abhijit, would you mind sending a reminder to these folks too? Thank you, Abhijit. And yeah, so next one is from Sandra. So Sandra, would you like to present this?
I'm unable to share it at the moment, but this is going to be a very quick discussion topic on my end. So this PR has been integrated, welcoming any feedback. I realized that since these issues related to screenshots were open, a lot of integration methods have changed. So the reason why I put this specific PR up was to actually acquire, based on feedback and comments given on a similar issue, which I created a session on a topic a few hours earlier. I'm wondering if we ought to integrate this differently as instead of just taking screenshot, because there are very specific steps that we need to take that were put into the issue description. But I feel like those have changed since, between about a month or two since these issues created. Now I'm wondering if perhaps you take action in updating the issue description so that we wouldn't need to repeat ourselves on each call and with each contributor that takes up assignment. For example, there's a comment that was made regarding creating a project folder named differently that is placed within integrations and images, and
Okay,
then
so
place the screen in this folder.
yeah, like you've got it right. So I'll be mentioning the comment, like described steps there in the comments. But just to say, like this, the screenshot that you are updating and the integration title is Athens. So what you can do in the, integration collections underscore images directory, you just have to create another directory named ATHE and Z, and it should be like URL friendly. And just then all of the screenshots that you have, just put them in that directory. So
that's very clear. That's very clear. The instructions that you gave in the comment were very clear. My only concern is that they have been PR have been closed for this topic, similar topics. Wondering, should need to be reopened, because I understand that the screenshot at some point will be overridden. So merged and closed PRs related to screenshots will need to be reopened and redone.
Yeah, so like the last time those changes were, the integration changes were by me merged. So what I did, all the existing screenshots I had like created a dedicated directory for them and moved all of them there. So we don't need to reopen them. But yeah, like if there are any more left, so definitely we will need to incorporate those, as in the same.
Okay, because I figured I brought the topic up. I think I have issue description changing permissions, because then I would that don't lie about creating a user unless you're already taking care of it, because I think it's important so that it would just reduce the time, the effort that is required to tell each and every contributor to make the changes after they start the issue. Just updating the issue.
I will.
Yeah.
Yep, I will take it as an action item, and I'll visit all the PRs and related issues, and I'll mention that steps there. So
okay, with that said, my discussion topic was very broad concerning all the issues under this topic. So that's the only thing I had a question before I move forward with the other issue topic.
Okay, I will look into it, Sandra. So thank you, Sandra, for updates. And next we have from Ashpers. So we do have Ashpers on call. So Ashpers, would you like to present this?
Yeah, thanks for. Okay, all right. Let me share my screen. Okay. So the issue was inconsistent card size for the lower ratio devices, and before it was like that, and now I have fixed that for the web as well, and I can show the code, and there I have added for the 765 or less than that devices. I have fixed it and I have checked it. All right, let me show you for the different devices. For the Google Pixel, it was like that. Oh, sorry, it was Samsung Galaxy S20. It was looking like that, and for the Google Pixel 5, it was there was an issue. And all right, Xiaomi 11i, I have tested for that. Yeah, there was an issue, and for the iPhone 12 Pro, there was an issue here and inconsistency. And after resolving the issue, let me show you. All right. For the Google Pixel, it was like that. And now I have fixed it. And all right, let me show you for iPhone 12. It was not aligned properly, and I have fixed it. Yeah, I have tested for that as well. And yeah, it was before Samsung Galaxy S20. There was alignment issue in the card, and I have fixed it. I have tested out. All right. There was an issue. I have fixed it. Yeah, I have tested for multiple devices.
Yeah, so I've shared the link in chat for the PR, and yeah, like great efforts in testing for so many screen sizes. So definitely that will be helpful.
Yeah.
So if you have got any feedback,
do I need to put it in?
Yeah, so like if you can put this as into PR's description, so that will really be helpful for the reviewers.
Yeah, sure. I'll add on. Actually, I didn't tested it before that much for that many devices, but after a while, after they told me that I need to put some screenshot and better description, so I tested out them. Yeah, thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you, Aspers, and yeah, make sure you drop those screenshot as and like if you have got any feedback for Aspers, so you can visit the review and pull request in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, and next up we have progress on system design system from Rex. So yep, Rex is there with us. So Rex. So would you like to present? Rex can hear me. Okay.
Here, I'll say Rex's name out loud in case hearing it from a different, in case he couldn't hear Rex out of, yep, oh, there he is. Yep, Rex, I think you're up.
Yes, it's your turn now. Rex, like the progress in system design system.
Impeccable. I wonder what I haven't
I'm afraid we cannot hear you, Rex. You're on mute. So please do signal in chat like if you are not ready yet, so then we can circle back to you. Oh yeah, so some bandwidth issues on Rex's side. So we will circle back to Rex when he's ready. He's back. So I'll just ask Rex again, like Rex, would you be presenting, or we should be, we should circle back to you? Like,
I actually wanted to share my screen, but I don't know. Just now, my network has started. I was just saying it has impeccable timing of some sort. I don't know how it happens, but it always happens.
This is clear, so maybe you can give it a go.
Just let me try again one more time. Let me try again. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So updates on screens are available.
We're about to see some Academy. Stay tuned.
Sandra, no, we cannot hear you, Sandra.
A bit more green to this. That's what I try to do now, adding that here, and I think it's also there available on the input field as well. If I could just get there. Okay. I hope I'm still audible. Yes.
Yes, you're audible.
All right. Everybody froze for a second. I thought I was gone already. Okay. So yeah, I said I tried to implement some of the feedback from the last time, adding a few more green to the top nav here, and then also to the search button as well. So yeah, it looks like it's a sore thumb sticking out to me, but I don't know. We'll have to decide that based on whatever feedback comes from it. And I think Yash Shamara made mention of having a sort of how the search would and then there is this one that takes out the whole buttons and just there's a bug here somewhere. There we go. Okay. Supposed to show the full length. I think there's a bug here somewhere, unfortunately. I'll have to fix that, but ideally it's supposed to show the whole thing. It worked earlier. I don't know why it's not working now, but yeah. So there's that. And then the whole page is for the input screens. Two are currently in progress so far. Sorry, let me just go back to this one. Yeah. So there's the overview and there's the guidelines. Oh, guidance. I'm going to bite my tongue. Okay, yeah, there's that.
It looks like we lost Rex.
Ah, perfect. Okay. It's always
So Rex, like you can share your updates asynchronously in Slack channels, I guess, if it doesn't work now.
I guess I'll stop sharing. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I don't know what's happening.
Yep. So Rex will be sharing the updates on Slack. So Rex, can you did you hear this? You'll be sharing your updates on Slack, right?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Say again. Say again.
So you will be sending all the updates that you have in Slack channel, right?
Okay. I guess I can just send in the link. No, would that work?
Yeah, and some points where you would want to have any feedback.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying to you a few times. The internet, it can really be, our worst enemy sometimes.
Thank you, Rex. And so we have.
Apologize. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Rex. It happens. So yep, moving on to mystery.io items. First item is from Victoria. So a new readme.md page for mystery/mystery repository. So yeah, would you like to talk about it, Victoria?
Okay. I've been working on this for some time now, and I just noticed that Lee left some comments. So I will implement that, then I can present my.
Share this in chat.
So we can move on to the next.
Okay.
Unless you have any additions.
Yeah. So there is some feedback from Lee. So
yeah. So once I incorporate those, then maybe I can present them next week. Monday.
Yeah, sounds good.
Also,
Yeah,
Victoria,
so-
when you work on it, I suggest you to check the layer 5 repo as well. There we have a readme.md file with similar to this, so you can take, we want something like that. So because the current readme file that you mockup that you have created, it looks like more of a web page.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, got it.
So thank you, Ritik and Victoria. So we are on time, but is there anything that we need to discuss, anything urgent? So we can cover that before we wrap it up today.
If I don't know if the other people after me want to present now, because I would like to talk about the reviewing designs page on that docs. Okay. Yeah, that one.
So let's discuss this. Yeah, go ahead, Victoria.
Okay, so this is what the page looks like now.
Okay.
These are the subject. Why use comments? There is sorry. Can I share my screen? Let me share my screen.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the page looks like now. We have why use comments. We have how to add comments. So the purpose of this page is to talk about the comment feature of Meshmap and how you can use it to give design reviews. So in the
Victoria, you're not audible. Is it just for me only, or?
Oh no, her screen is freezed as well as video, so I don't think she's available.
Okay.
Page, the new page.
So I have shared the page link in chat.
Yeah.
You all can go and have a look, and yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, there's something that.
So these are a couple of sections that I added. Under the how to add comments, I included some images for each of the 3 different ways that we can add comments on Meshmap. then
I say, hey, one quick
um,
that jumps out is the width that's being specified for the image. It might be
this.
Yeah, it's I wonder if we have if you use 100%, I wonder how that plays. If that
Instead of 1,000.
yeah.
Okay.
If you try it, you might like the tests that you want to try are like when you reduce the width of the browser, does it still behave like you might want it to? Yeah.
I've not tried. I've not. I don't know what it looks like when you open it on the
right
documentation website. Yeah.
One
I don't
nice
know how to use the whole Netlify something.
right. Yeah.
can-
Just one nice thing about this, it's not as convenient, but on this pull request on every pull request on
Okay.
the documentation site, if you go to the pull request itself, it will take a few minutes, but yet you're right that Netlify, there's the bottom link, it's the deploy preview link.
This one.
Yeah, that it'll, it's solely relying on it would mean that your development cycle will be slowed down because you have to push your changes, wait for it to build and show you back. But at least it's helpful for everyone else who comes to review. And
Yeah.
it's helpful for you as well. If you're not locally building, at least you can see what it looks like by visiting that link.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really helpful. It's one of those things that actually, it's a note that we were making to Abiodun earlier, is he was waiting for a sample, but he could bring up the preview.
Okay.
One thing, so this, good. So you'll get a sense of whether or not that size works, and you'll toy around with changing the size. There's something that I'd like to mention with respect to what you're doing here, in this pull request.
Yeah.
And it is, well, it's the case that we've been building out projects for a long time, and the projects have lots of different, there's a lot of projects, there's a lot of different functionality, and not all of the projects, or each time that someone made a change, we didn't necessarily mandate that there was documentation to accompany it, or that there were tests to accompany it, or that there were like some of these ancillary considerations, in part because we have a hard enough time getting pull requests merged in the first place. And so we don't always mandate that there's docs. And so we have a lot of catch up to do on the documentation. There's a couple of ways that we can catch up on documentation relatively quickly. And that is doing one of the things that Archit Sharma, one of the community members, was doing. He took a couple of the Google Slides, the Google slide decks from the community, and he was exporting many of the slides to SVG, because you can just download each individual slide as SVG, and then he's putting them into the various pages, and that doesn't cover all the pages, and he couldn't export all of the slides because they weren't all appropriate to export. But using that as an example, guess where else we have tons of visual diagrams of what's been created and how the software works, whether it's Meshry or a different project? Figma. In Figma, we designed, we don't always design all of the things that we do in there, but a lot of it we do, a lot of it we annotate with various, small notes about behavior of what's supposed to happen. Well, guess what? Well, in a very similar way, if we go in there and we export those mock-ups, assuming that they're largely still accurate, oh, that's such a helpful activity. I know Ritik has got some of that on his agenda this week for particular areas, but there's tons of them that need to be, there's tons of them. So maybe for my part, I'll try to offer some instruction to a few of you, and you might be able to in turn offer some instruction to others or open up some issues for others.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks for letting me make a note of that. It's related to what you're doing here. So
Okay.
Thank you, Victoria and Lee. So let me share my screen. Okay.
But yeah, so one thing that Victoria did, by the way, on her screenshots, you just noticed she had, highlighted the area of concern. So she took a screenshot and then, drew a circle, annotated the screenshot. Makes sense to me. I haven't seen necessarily many others. Sometimes people do that. And she used yellow. Great. Or just kind of thinking aloud. But yeah, good. I think that's very helpful to draw people's attention to what we're looking at. One of the things that's always perpetually bugged me about screenshots is the moment that you take them is the moment that they start to age and at some point become antiquated. And it's the same thing for any time that you write the documentation as well. Eventually, any software that's worth its salt, any software that's actively being maintained is living software generally. So any documentation is always at risk of becoming old. So that shouldn't stop us from taking screenshots. It's very helpful. The screenshots, a picture tells 1,000 words. Screenshots are very helpful.
So we are 10 minutes over the time. So it was a great call. I'll be sharing the calendar link in chat. And this is our community calendar. So on Monday, there is a weekly websites meeting. And similarly, on Wednesday, there is a Ministry 11 meeting. And on Thursday, there are a couple of meetings. So if you have joined the call for the first time, and if you want to get an overview on the projects and the community, so you can also try and join this newcomers call that happens on Thursday. So for all these meetings, if you want to get update, you can just subscribe to the community calendar. I have already dropped the link in chat. All right, so that was it. And thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next Monday if you join.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.